So if you're anything like me, you probably know how to draw things, but could always use more practice. Today we're going to be talking about drawing hands, and practicing how to draw in general. My name is Jess, I like talking about art, and we're just going to get into it. We're going to be using a site called Sketch Daily. There are lots of sites like this that give you reference images for gesture drawing, but this is my go-to site. Whenever you're tackling a new skill, you have to start somewhere, and a lot of times you'll start with these step-by-step drawings or how-tos and things like that. And those can be really useful at the beginning. But once you already know how to do all those things, the best practice you can do is observing your environment and really seeing what things look like. You can look at your own hands. The internet is full of pictures. Everybody around you has hands, hopefully. I'm sorry if you don't. And it won't always feel useful to do these drawings if you're into simplistic drawings and things like that, but it really does help you figure out the proportion of hands in comparison to everything. Like, I was doing this practice because I noticed my hands were looking very big and kind of skewed, so I wanted to do some practice to try and correct that. Some yowie hands going on. But whenever you're drawing any part of the human form, it's really good to just get examples from real life. All these classic painters were always drawing real people, almost always, and that's why there's so many debates about, like, who was the model for this or who was the model for that, because they didn't have this huge library of online images so that they could kind of mishmash things together. It was a lot more effective for them to actually have models that they could study. And today we're blessed to not have to socialize so much and get that comfortable with people that we're just drawing them all the time, but it is a useful practice. Yes, it's annoying when people are like, hey, can you draw me? But if you actually take the time to do that, it's a useful skill to develop, is looking at your surroundings and building up those observational skills. Here I start drawing from memory and using construction lines. I'll put in a bit later talking about what those construction lines are, but for now I'm just trying to think of those shapes and posing hands in my mind and then putting them back onto the paper. I just come in here to kind of show what I mean in real time. So there's this wedge shape that a lot of artists are familiar with. And this kind of arrow is good when you think about it. Hands have that shape. That a mitten shape. And then you want to go in the center right there. And draw a line from the center to this peak. And that's your middle finger. And then you know your next finger is going to be down a little bit. This finger is going to be down a little bit. And your pinky is going to be in a little bit. And you notice this round here. I was noticing that when I was drawing. That it's not flush with the bottom naturally. The bottom of your hand. And the thumb doesn't really follow the same rules. You can kind of find the center and bring it down. I would bring it down to where the ring fingers line comes through, but it probably doesn't need to be that far over. And then you just put in your little thumb shape. That's basically that. Nothing too complicated. And then if you need to move the hand, you would rotate this shape. And then you can just draw the fingers through. Drawing them as these like stick fingers kind of gives you a better idea of where stuff is, but it's really annoying to erase stuff. So that's not what I would normally do. Normally I do something like this where I'm kind of imagining where the limits are. But kind of an in-between you can do is you put down this base shape and instead of drawing the lines from right here, you draw them at the edges of where these places would be. So you're kind of imagining where it is and then drawing around it. Of course, this is all easier if you actually pay attention to drawing hands. I'm just gonna make this the front of a hand because I made the other one the front of the hand. And thumbs you just kind of have to make up. No one knows how they work. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure people know how they work. I don't know how they work. They just happen. Anyway, that's the best breakdown I can think of, so. Well, I hope that was interesting. Maybe not as informative as some videos, but sharing the little bit that I can communicate. Like and subscribe, and comment what you think.